All right, today we're tackling a massive question. What happens when our global economy is on a collision course with our planet's limits? And more importantly, how do we rewire the whole system for survival?
Let's just jump right in with a single, pretty stark number, 1.7. According to the Global Footprint Network, that's how many Earths we would need to sustain the way we're living right now. Put another way, we're burning through a year and a half's worth of resources every single year. It's a pretty clear sign that we're living way beyond our planet's means.
So how in the world did we get here? Well, to really get it, you have to look at this period of explosive growth that started around 1950. Scientists have a great name for it, the Great Acceleration.
And look, there are two sides to this story. On one hand, this period brought incredible progress for humanity. You look at graphs for things like population, GDP, water use. They all just explode upwards. It creates this classic hockey stick curve you see here.
But here's the other side of the coin. If you look at the indicators for the Earth's health, things like CO2 levels, the acidity of our oceans, the loss of forests, you see the exact same alarming curve. The connection is just impossible to ignore. Our growth came at a cost.
And to really understand the insane scale of the challenge we're facing, listen to this quote from sustainability advisor Will Day. He said, "We are required to grow more food in the next 40 years that has been produced in the last 8,000 years. Just let that sink in. The demand we're putting on the planet is just staggering.
All this intense pressure means we're not just straining the system anymore. We're actually starting to blow past these critical thresholds, the very things that have kept our planet stable and livable for millennia. We are, quite literally, stepping outside of Earth's safe operating zone.
So scientists have actually identified 9 of these critical limits, which they call planetary boundaries. And this chart, well, it's basically a report card. And it is not looking good. We've already pushed 4 of them into the high-risk red zone. That's climate change, of course, and land system change. But it also includes 2 others you might hear less about. Biosphere integrity, which is really about the catastrophic loss of species, and altered biochemical flows, which is our massive disruption of natural cycles for things like nitrogen and phosphorus.
Which really brings us to the core question, doesn't it? If the science is this clear, if the warning lights are flashing red, why does our entire economic system seem to be completely blind to these fundamental limits?
Well, a big part of the answer lies in a really basic design flaw. You can see it in what's called the 5 capitals model. See, our current system is obsessed with financial and manufactured capital, money and stuff, but it completely fails to see that those 2 things are totally dependent on the other 3, natural, human, and social capital. And natural capital, that's the very foundation of everything. Without it, the whole structure collapses.
But here's the hopeful part. Once you spot the design flaw, you can start to draw up a new blueprint. You can imagine a future that's built on a totally different kind of partnership.
And this isn't just a fantasy. Researchers at the University of Cambridge have actually proposed a blueprint. It's a 10-year plan called Rewiring the Economy, and the whole point is to build the foundation for a new economy that can actually work within our planet's boundaries, not against them.
The plan really boils down to getting 3 key players to stop working in their own little silos and start working together. You've got business, which is the engine of the economy. You have finance, which provides the fuel, the capital. And you need government, which acts as the guiding hand, setting the rules of the road.
And if we could do this, the shift would be absolutely profound. You're talking about moving from a system where everyone's isolated to one based on real partnership. Moving from a laser focus on short-term profit to creating long-term sustainable value. And maybe most importantly, moving away from these weird, perverse incentives that punish good behavior to policies that actually reward and encourage sustainability. Our current economy didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was designed. We built it. So the challenge is massive for sure, but the blueprint for something better, it exists. Which leaves all of us with one final, incredibly urgent question. Can we redesign it, together, before we cross tipping points from which there is no coming back?